When we expand the streetcar system, which we're going to expand this, over my dead body, we're going to expand the streetcar system. So we're going to go from North Florida to Columbus, turn left on Columbus, come back on Tampa Street, and loop all the way back down into the Central Business District to come back into the system by the Convention Center.
Do we need a full subway system in Tampa today? No, right? There's no demand necessarily. The funding wouldn't be there. There's so many issues and there's so many reasons why that wouldn't happen. But the people are moving here. We need to plan for it.
Well, I think it's incrementalism. You have to start somewhere, and that's part of the problem. Is everybody keeps kicking the can down the street. One of the things that I bring to council is, let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Right.
We just have to get it done.
Isn't it fascinating though? I mean, Key West, Pensacola, Jacksonville, St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
Tampa all had on-street rail networks, that were ripped up. And we've talked about that a lot on the show, the reasons why, the demand for vehicles, right? Funding issues. There's also, I don't even know if they're conspiracies. I think there's a lot of truth to them. Auto companies would buy the streetcar network, reduce the amount of trips and reduce the funding so that they would kind of go out of business, and then they'd rip the tracks up. It was a...
Now, see, I wasn't around that long ago, but Charlie Miranda was. So he,
Yeah.
so he could tell you all those details back in the early 1900s. But it's my understanding that some of the demand and why the streetcars were built out was kind of they were a customer of the electric companies that were building out. So there was excess electricity. And so there was a market to be able to sell electricity. So a lot of times the electric companies actually had these streetcar systems put in place. And of course, like Los Angeles is so sprawling, and even by scale, it was relative to other cities, it was sprawling back then. But I also believe that a lot of it was buses. And so the bus manufacturers, about the decimation of the system around the country was the bus manufacturers as well, not just automobiles, but buses. And there was a lot of pressure from those factories and those companies,
right,
to pressure these. They would come in and say, "Oh, we've got this new shiny object that to replace that old clunker of a system that you currently have."
And it doesn't have to follow a rail.
Yeah, exactly.
We can put stops wherever we want.
Exactly. Well, and there wasn't traffic back then.
Right.
We didn't.
It probably made sense at the time. I mean, realistically,
yeah, I can't really criticize. And honestly, I don't necessarily believe. My number one objective since I've been on council, the first thing I did was take on the streetcar project. So the expansion of the streetcar project. When I first came in, the streetcar expansion was dead. It was deceased. It was 6 feet under. It was cold and rotting. I dug it up, did a little Frankenstein thing on it, and worked with the administration, worked with the mayor, and we've resuscitated it. And we're progressing slowly,
yeah,
painfully slowing. But the process is working, and I believe the place of the streetcar isn't going back to where we were with the streetcar, because I don't necessarily know that technology would apply to the citywide because of because of traffic, lanes, the speed, and how our expectations of getting from point A to point B today. But where the streetcar is really critical is within our urban core. When we expand the streetcar system, which we're going to expand this, over my dead body, we're going to expand the streetcar system. So it's going to go up Florida, and initially it was just a Palm, but I've pushed it to go up to Columbus. So we're going to go from North Florida to Columbus, turn left on Columbus, come back on Tampa Street, and loop all the way back down into the Central Business District to come back into the system by the Convention Center. It'll triple the amount of rail. Then people will be able to live Ybor, Ybor Harbor, Channelside, Water Street, Encore, downtown, Convention Center, Tampa Heights, connecting all of Tampa's jewels. Armature Works, Straz, the Museum of Art, the Convention Center, the Aquarium, and again, the Ybor City. And you can live, work, and play in that area completely car-free.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get the Brightline, which unfortunately is really delayed coming into Tampa, but we'll be able to have an east-west connection. You'll be able to get on the streetcar from the Brightline terminus and connect, or we'll have another system that will be able to go east-west along Palm that you can connect on the other end of it as well. So it'll be a full network of when people come into our city via train, they will be able to connect to the system and not have a car. They won't have to worry about parking. If you live in Tampa Heights, you want to go to the Straz for a show or you want to go to dinner, you can jump on the streetcar. You don't have to worry about parking. You want to go to the aquarium, you want to go into one of these great restaurants we have in Water Street, you can jump on the streetcar. So it's a great mechanism of transportation within the urban core. I don't believe that the streetcar system is the mode of transportation to take us like to USF. or even to the airport. Because my next objective, once we get this thing further along, I'm going to be working with the airport and the administration to get that airport to downtown connection. And that's going to look, it's still to be determined what that looks like, whether it's a light rail system, whether it's street level, whether it's elevated, but it's going to be a different type of transportation. What I envision it, whatever we put there will be the first step in a bigger system that'll cross the bay and then go northbound. And after I'm probably long gone, but before I leave this office, I'm hoping to have that system well underway.
I love the energy, and I wish more people in local government would speak like you, because you sound like it's almost like a enough is enough type scenario.
Oh, enough.
Like we need to get this thing going.
Get it done.
Get it done.
This is what I feel. I mean, this is kind of how I approach government in general. Let's just get it done. We have to get people in a room, get them at a table and say, this is a priority for the city of Tampa. Let's get it done. And because we're capable of doing it. We are the society that put people on the moon. We're the society look what we did with the vaccines for COVID in such a short period of time.
Exactly.
We can get stuff done when we have that will and determination. I believe that the will is lacking, but the determination is there.
Whenever anyone says we can't do that, or light rail will never be in Tampa, or we can't extend the streetcar, I always go, there's footsteps on the moon, and You're telling me we can't freaking figure out a way to extend a streetcar.
It's a couple pieces of steel and some electricity.
Let's not get crazy.
Exactly.
Hey guys, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, click right here. Make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. Thank you for watching.